In the quiet halls of Steere House Nursing Center in Providence, Rhode Island, an ordinary day in July 2005 marked the beginning of an extraordinary story. A small, unremarkable tabby cat named Oscar arrived at the facility, one of several adopted to provide comfort to residents. No one could have predicted that this seemingly ordinary feline would soon demonstrate an ability that would baffle medical professionals and bring comfort to dozens of families in their darkest hours. Unlike the other therapy animals that sought attention and affection, Oscar kept to himself. He avoided interaction, preferring solitude over socialization. Staff members initially wondered if bringing him to the dementia unit had been a mistake. Yet, something remarkable began to happen within the sterile walls of the third-floor advanced dementia unit. Dr. David Dosa, a geriatrician at the facility, first noticed Oscar's unusual behavior 6 months after the cat's arrival. The pattern was unmistakable, but seemed impossible. Oscar could sense when a patient was about to die. The first incident occurred on a sweltering summer afternoon. Mary Jenkins, an 83-year-old resident with advanced Alzheimer's, lay peacefully in her bed. Staff members estimated she had several days remaining. Oscar, who typically avoided patient rooms, slipped silently through the doorway. He leapt onto her bed, curled beside her, and began purring softly. Mary passed away 2 hours later. Staff might have dismissed this as coincidence, but then it happened again, and again, and again. By January 2007, Oscar had accurately predicted over 25 deaths. His procedure never varied. He would enter the room of a patient, sniff the air, and either leave immediately or jump onto the bed. If he stayed, staff knew they had approximately 4 hours before the patient would pass away. The nursing staff began calling family members whenever Oscar took up his vigil. "You may want to come soon," they would say. No additional explanation was necessary. The families understood. In one remarkable case, Oscar proved more accurate than the medical professionals. Ruth Mitchell was showing signs of improvement, and doctors had given her family hope. Yet Oscar refused to leave her side. The staff, trusting Oscar's track record, called the family back just in time for them to be present during Ruth's unexpected passing. What made Oscar's gift even more profound was the nature of the facility itself. The dementia unit housed patients who could no longer communicate, recognize family members, or express their needs. They faced the prospect of dying alone, their loved ones perhaps not arriving in time for final goodbyes. Oscar changed that equation. His presence became a silent alarm, providing families with the precious opportunity to say goodbye, a gift beyond measure in the realm of end-of-life care. Sarah Williams, the head nurse who had initially questioned Oscar's placement in the unit, later admitted she had misjudged him entirely. "I thought we needed friendly, sociable cats," she confessed in an interview for a local newspaper. "I never imagined that Oscar's detachment would transform into such focused compassion when it truly mattered." The nursing staff observed that Oscar seemed to understand something fundamental about death that even they, with years of professional experience, sometimes struggled to accept. He approached each dying patient without fear or hesitation, offering simple presence when nothing else could be done. Dr. Dosa struggled to explain Oscar's ability. Initially skeptical, he meticulously documented each incident. Was Oscar detecting some subtle biochemical change? Could he smell ketones released during cell death? Or was there something more mysterious at work, something beyond scientific explanation? The medical community debated furiously. Some suggested Oscar was simply responding to the changed routines of the staff when a patient was near death. Others proposed he might be detecting pheromones released during the dying process. A few even argued that Oscar was drawn to the heated blankets often given to failing patients. None of these explanations fully satisfied Dr. Dosa. In July 2007, he published an article in the New England Journal of Medicine titled "A Day in the Life of Oscar the Cat." The story captured worldwide attention. Oscar became an overnight sensation, the cat who could predict death. But attention wasn't what Oscar sought. After the media frenzy subsided, he returned to his solemn duty. Day after day, he maintained his vigil, providing comfort to those making their final transition. Perhaps the most poignant aspect of Oscar's story wasn't his predictive abilities, but his transformation. The once aloof cat had found his purpose. With patients near death, Oscar showed a tenderness absent in his other interactions. He would purr, nuzzle, and provide a calming presence during their final hours. For staff members witnessing this metamorphosis, Oscar's behavior challenged their understanding of animal consciousness. How could this creature, initially deemed unsuitable for therapy work, demonstrate such profound empathy? The answer came from an unexpected source. In September 2008, Harold Williams, a retired veterinarian with terminal cancer, specifically requested a room in the dementia unit after reading about Oscar. When questioned why someone still cognitively intact would choose choose such placement. Harold smiled weakly. "I've spent my life understanding animals," he explained. "Oscar isn't predicting death, he's easing it." 3 days after his arrival, Oscar entered Harold's room and curled beside him. Rather than calling for family, Harold asked for a notepad. In his final hours, he documented his observations of Oscar's behavior. "He's not drawn to death," Harold wrote. "He's responding to a fundamental need, the desire not to die alone. In his own way, he's fulfilling his purpose more completely than many humans ever manage." Harold passed that evening with Oscar by his side. His notes provided a perspective that transformed how the staff viewed their feline colleague. By 2010, Oscar had maintained his perfect record through more than 50 deaths. The nursing home installed a plaque commemorating his service. Oscar, providing compassionate hospice care since 2005. Dr. Dosa eventually published a book about Oscar's remarkable journey. Rather than focusing on the sensational aspects, he explored the deeper implications of Oscar's gift, how an animal dismissed as unsuitable for therapy work had become an essential component of end-of-life care. During a particularly difficult week in November 2010, when 3 residents were in decline simultaneously, the staff observed something they hadn't seen before. Oscar divided his time methodically between the 3 rooms, spending exactly 1 hour with each patient in rotation. All 3 passed within the same 12-hour period. It was as if Oscar understood his responsibility extended to everyone in need, not just a single patient. This incident led Dr. Thomas Graves, a neurologist studying Oscar's behavior, to propose that the cat possessed an emotional intelligence that defied conventional understanding. "We tend to underestimate animals," Dr. Graves noted. "Oscar demonstrates capabilities that suggest animal consciousness may be far more complex than we've acknowledged." The story of Oscar challenges our understanding of the boundaries between species. In the cold, clinical environment of a dementia ward, this small cat demonstrated that compassion transcends language, cognitive capacity, and even species barriers. For the families of Steere House residents, Oscar provided an invaluable service. Diana Johnson, whose mother was comforted by Oscar during her final hours in February 2009, expressed what many families felt. "My mother couldn't recognize me anymore. She couldn't speak. I felt I'd already lost her," Diana recalled. "But seeing Oscar with her, caring for her when she was most vulnerable, it reminded me that something essential remained, something worthy of dignity and companionship until the very end." When the facility faced budget cuts in 2011, threatening the animal therapy program, families of former residents raised over $50,000 to establish an endowment, specifically for Oscar and future therapy animals. The Oscar Fund ensured that his work would continue undisturbed and that his legacy would extend to future generations of caregivers and patients. Oscar's legacy extends beyond the walls of Steere House. His story prompted numerous healthcare facilities to re-examine their approach to end-of-life care and the role animals might play in this sacred transition. As of 2013, Oscar continued his work, having accurately predicted over 100 deaths. Though aging himself, he maintained his solemn rounds, bringing comfort to those making their final journey. In the quiet moments when Oscar curls beside a resident, purring softly as life ebbs away, we glimpse something profound about connection. The boundaries we construct between species dissolve. What remains is simply presence, the quiet affirmation that no one need face the darkness alone. Oscar's gift isn't prediction, it's presence. In a world obsessed with extending life at all costs, this unassuming cat reminds us of something far more important, the dignity of a compassionate death. The tabby who came to Steere House as an afterthought became its most valuable teacher. Through Oscar, we learn that sometimes the most profound healing comes not from preventing death, but from transforming how we experience it. In the end, Oscar's story isn't about death at all. It's about life and how connection sustains us, even as everything else falls away. In the words Dr. Dosa recorded in his final chapter, Oscar teaches us that sometimes the most important medical intervention is simply showing up. The rest is grace. If you enjoyed, then watch our next video shown on screen.